Well, looks like we got 3 watching. I don't know if anybody's in chat. Don't see anybody in chat. I got bored, y'all, so I decided to go live. We have anybody else in here? It shows I got 3 people watching, but nobody's in chat with me. Got 9 now. Where's all my faithfuls that are usually in live chat? I'm going to be doing this off and on for a while, just doing spur of the moment lives to do giveaways. There's Shelly. Hello, Sheila. Whichever name you go by. I'm not sure usually. I sent Gladys and Susie and Randy and everybody I could think of messages that I was going live. And there's Liz. Hello, Liz. Well, thank you for joining us. Either one, Shelly or Sheila. And I posted the link up at the top of the live chat box. So if anybody wants to get up here on screen with me, you're welcome to join me up here. Hi there, Maria or Marie Hannah. Welcome to our live. I decided I'm going to go live different times of the day and see what times I get the most people to come into live chats. It's been awfully hot today. I guess it seems hotter because of the humidity after all the rain we've gotten for the last couple of days. And there's Connie. Hey, Connie. You doing okay today and this evening? And there's Reverend Dream. Hello, Reverend Dream. Almost, not quite, but it almost filled them up. And there's Patty C. I hope Gladys makes it. I sent her a message, but I don't know if she got the message or not. And Susie as well. And Randy. Everybody I could think of, I sent a message to. You got to 98 degrees. Well, it got to like almost mid 90s here. I don't think it quite got 98 here, but it might be that way the rest of the week. I don't know. We got a pretty good rain, and there's Crafty as Shabby Shack. Hello, welcome. Welcome from New Zealand. I think that's what NZ is. And there's Shelley. Good evening, Shelley. And there's Susan. Glad you can make it, Susan. And there's Paul saying hello from Wisconsin. Sue Jennings from, well, don't say, but it's 101 where she was today. Oh, Gladys might not make it because her pad was shutting off. I know she was in other lives today, so she may have wore her pad down. She may have to let it charge up or cool off. Well, I'm glad you liked it, Patty. I almost didn't do it. And I said, well, you know what? Somebody might like to know that I do still have a freezer that needs to be defrosted. Even the new freezer that I got, the upright one, it has to be defrosted. I haven't had to do it yet because it's got new seals on it, but I don't think it's frost free at all. And there's Cindy Sandu. Hello. Welcome to our surprise chat tonight. Oh, and I wanted to show you a picture. Look at this sweetheart. I think Ashley said she just turned 7. She's holding her arm up because she's got the bracelet on that I sent Ashley. You know, the little girl bracelet that was the giveaway in the live the other night or Sunday, whenever it was. But it did fit. It was plenty loose on her arm. But isn't she adorable? That's Ashley Chapman's little girl. Remember, she's the one that I sent the little girl bracelet to. Well, you should get yours pretty soon because I mailed both of them out the same day, Cindy. But it might take a little bit longer to get to you than it did to Ashley. Yeah, she's adorable. It looks like she's got brown eyes. She's just an adorable little girl. Yeah, I forget how little kids are at 7, most of them, especially the little girls, because it's been so many years since my kids have been little. And there's Vegan Menu. Hello. Paul Lovejoy, 110 in Central California today. Oh my gosh. That was hot. Rudy, 907. Hello. Yep, it's 907 or 909. I got out early this morning, did some work in the garden, made a video, got it uploaded, but I don't know when I'm going to post it because I've got one I want to post in the morning. I've got a couple of videos that I've done in advance. That way, if I don't get to do a video one day, I'll have one that I can post. Yeah, I've known Rita for a long time. She sent me her chicken pattern. Oh, months and months ago when she was telling anybody if they wanted that chicken pattern for the quilt to let her know, and she'd send it to us. And I sent her my mailing address to get the chicken pattern. Yeah, I go to her lives off and on. I can't make every single one of them because I stay so busy, but I was taking it easy yesterday, so I made her live. Well, I made the last 2 lives that she had. Well, thank you, Cindy. I was glad to be there. Oh, and I wanted to tell Connie and Susan and all the other ladies in here, that same pervert that Jose 360 that kept coming in my lives the last couple of times, giving those obscene comments. And every time he was blocked, he come back in under Jose under with a different number. He was in Rita's live too the other night, doing the same thing, making the same comments. And I messaged Rita in the live chat that that same guy had been doing the same thing in my live chats. So they're not just targeting her. I said it's just somebody going around that don't have any better thing to do, and he's just leaving dirty comments in all the lives I guess he comes across. Oh no, Sheila McDaniel, 117. Ooh, that's hot. That's like getting in the frying pan. Yeah, he's scamming everywhere. But the only thing you can do is block him and report him every time. Because it doesn't matter how many times he changes the number to his name. That name goes back to an account somewhere. He had to set up an account to be able to even use a code name to get into chat. So if you report him enough, YouTube is going to check into it and they're liable to take his channel away from him. And there's Barbara. Hello, Barbara. Barbara said, so if you are on at 7 o'clock, it is actually 9 o'clock my time. I think that is why I miss your lives. What do you think? Well, you may be 2 hours ahead of me. I don't know. I don't remember where you live, but I didn't go live at 7. I went live at 9 o'clock tonight because this was a surprise live. I usually go live at 7 on Thursday and 3 o'clock on Sunday, but I may be changing that. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, that reminds me that I have to call and talk to Mobile because I got a call from a guy saying I had texted him with sexy messages. Oh my goodness. And but you were driving and you wouldn't do that anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't be texting while I was driving. That's almost impossible to do. Pennsylvania. Well, I was thinking your Eastern time, I would think, maybe, to where you would be an hour ahead of me. They could be, Susan, very well be can might be hacking you. Well, Kai popped in. Hello, Kai. Jess was with you. So Jess knows that you weren't texting. And there's Gladys. She made it. So glad you could make it, Gladys. Barbara Elford said it's 2:40 there where she's at. That's got to be Hawaii. I don't know if April will make it or not, if she'll get the notice. Champ 7, stay cool. Yeah, that's what everybody's trying to do, stay cool. Barbara Elford, era 1040. I don't know. Isn't Pennsylvania considered Eastern Standard Time? And there's Nancy McKay. Hello. I'm doing great. I rested up. I came in after I got through working in the garden and cleaned up my kitchen, took a good shower, got something to eat. I laid down on the couch and rested a while. And then I decided, you know what? I'm going to go live. Let's see what I can put together. I was bored. I said, I got to do something. I just didn't want to sit there and watch TV. So, yeah, it's 9:15 here where I'm at, Patty. If you're in North Carolina, yeah, you're an hour ahead. And it's 4:15 in Hawaii where Kai is. So he's like 4 or 5 hours behind us. 6:15 here in Alaska. Is this the time of the year that it never gets dark in Alaska? I know you go through one period of the year where it stays dark 24 hours a day, but I never know when that is. Is it in the summertime or the wintertime that it does that? Yeah, I got quite a bit of rain. So my garden loved it. Well, you have to when you got a garden and a yard and a house and everything to keep up by yourself. I'm the only one that does anything. So, I'm the only one here. So if I don't do it, it doesn't get done. Okay, so after summer solstice, it loses daylight slowly. But it's daylight 24/7 right now, huh, Cindy? So it's never bedtime. I think that would be the only thing if I went to Alaska when it was daylight all the time. I don't know if I get used to that because I mean I can take a nap in the afternoon and not worry about it, if it's daylight outside. But it comes 10 or 11 o'clock at night and it's still daylight outside. I would probably think my body would say, no, it's not time to go to bed. It's still daylight. I didn't get too many tomatoes. I mean, I would have, but it started getting so hot on them too fast. Light is so much better than dark. Yeah. At least you can get out and do something, see what you're doing. You don't have to rely on street lights and yard lights and porch lights and everything else. Yeah, I'd be out there working all night long because my body would tell me it's not nighttime yet. Y'all can see I posted the link up at the top of the screen. If anybody wants to get on the video with me on screen, go ahead. There's the link. And there's Craig. Hello, Craig. Didn't see you come in. Gladys don't like the dark, so she'd be great to live in Alaska in the summer when it never gets dark. Yeah, you think I have trouble sleeping now. If it was daylight 24/7, I don't know what my body clock would do. No takers to get on screen. Got to take vitamin D supplements in the winter. I take vitamin supplements all year round, and it's we get plenty of daylight, but I still take vitamin C and D and all that stuff. Reverend said that he never sleeps, so it might be right up his bag to be living in Alaska where it never gets dark, or it don't get dark a certain time of the year. And there's Elaine. Hello, Elaine. Yes, ma'am. It's a hair barrette. This pulls out of it. So you put that on the back of your hair and then just stick your, I call it a pick through it. The pick goes through it and holds your hair in place. It's pretty, I think. Silver color. No, ma'am, I did not make it. And there's Ann. Hi, Ann. I was hoping Ashley would make it into chat tonight because I showed her picture of her daughter after she got her bracelet in the mail. Yeah, somebody's using your number somehow. They're hacking your phone. I'll show the picture of her daughter again. She's a cute little girl. We sent Ashley the bracelet for her daughter. Her daughter just turned 7, and she can wear it. She's got it on in the picture. That's why she's holding her arm up. She's got that bracelet on, and it's plenty loose on her arm. But she's an adorable little girl. She looked like she was tickled to death to get the bracelet. I'm just glad she could wear it. I was afraid it was going to be too small. I just was going to ask a question after I get quite a few people in chat. We've only been on 22 minutes, so I'm going to give it some more time. Yeah, she's adorable, Sheila. If we get any weird messages from Susan, no, it's not her. Yeah, made that little girl very happy, especially since it was her birthday. I think Ashley said her birthday was was it May 29th? And I told her my son's was the 29th as well, of May, that is. I can't remember if she said she meant it was the May 29th or June 29th, but I know she just said she just had her 7th birthday. She just turned 7. Susan and everyone remember what I say. At one time, I was looking for a new phone number and they kept giving me phone numbers that were still open with someone else. Oh my gosh. That's terrible, vegan menu. Well, when I first moved to Texas, they gave me a number, and I think I've still got the number, the same number I had for the house phone for many years. But when we first got it, I kept getting people calling this government representative. They said it was his number, and I had to keep repeatedly telling them, no, it's not a government representative's office number. It's my home number, and this is the house of residence. I mean, like once or twice a week, I would get a call for some government official's office that they said had that phone number. May baby is on 28, but she is a little older than 7. Okay. Yeah, it took about a year for them to stop calling my phone number thinking it was a government office. I said, well, you may be dialing the number, but maybe you're transposing one of the numbers, because that's easy to do. Craig says the 13th. My granddaughter was born June 13th. And that year that she was born, June 13th was on a Friday. And my son always loved to watch Friday the 13th and all those Jason movies and Chainsaw Massacre and all that stuff. And I teased him when I got to the hospital after she was born. He was sitting out in the hallway in a chair with the door to the room locked, shut. And I said, "Why are you sitting out here in the hallway?" He said, "They ran me out of the room. The nurse is in there with her." And I said, "Well, nobody but my son could have a daughter born on Friday the 13th. Oh, really, Craig? Your mama? Well, she was born. Well, my granddaughter was born on your mama's birthday. I said, I know the 13th of June does not fall on a Friday every year. And I don't know how often it will fall on a Friday, but it was a Friday, the 13th, when she was born." I told my son, nobody but him, they could do that. As much as he loved Friday the 13th movies and all that other stuff. You got married on Friday the 13th 50 years ago? Well, it must have been a lucky day for you, Elaine, if you stayed married 50 years. That must be a good date to get married on. I used to accidentally call my cousin instead of our number, and I would say, "Mom," and she would say, "I don't think so." My brother, one of my older brothers, oh my goodness, they celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary quite a few years ago. And he's only like 2 years older than me. But unfortunately, he was the one that lost his wife last Christmas Eve. And there's Grandma Teresa. Hello, Grandma. What you up to? Not yet. Yeah. It might take a little longer for you to get it. Our numbers were very similar. Yeah. It's easy to dial a different number than what you think you're dialing. I was There was a couple of times I was calling my friend in Lake Jackson, and I kept dialing my son-in-law's phone number because their names both started with a R, and like Rick was, his number was there, and the other number was just below him, my son-in-law. And somehow I thought I was hitting the number for my friend, and I was clicking on the number for my son-in-law. And he'd answer the phone, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I got a wrong number. I didn't mean to call you. I was dialing somebody else." No, I didn't do any baking at all today, Gladys. I could eat a cupcake right now if I had one, but I didn't bake any today. The only thing I cooked was this morning I fried a couple of pieces of sausage and an egg, and I put them on a bun and made me a breakfast sandwich. Thank you, Caleb. You live long time and have better health and wealth yourself. I'm glad you could make it to our live chat tonight. No, you haven't missed anything. I said I was going to wait till we had a few people in before I did any giveaways. Gladys, I wished for cupcakes. So now we got a few people wanting cupcakes, huh? We just hit 50. And I said, we're going to have at least 50 people in chat for me to ask a question to do a giveaway. And we just hit 50. Grandma Teresa says, I'll share. Yum cupcakes. I had to go to the food doctor today while in Waco. I saw a funnel cake food truck. Guess what? I got a funnel cake. I love them. Cindy said, just to let everyone know, I won't participate in this one. Why not, Cindy? I want one too, but I'm stuck with corn chips. I don't know if I've ever had a funnel cake. I've seen them when I went to the fairs and different things, or like Six Flags, but I don't think I've ever bought one of them. Oh, Cindy says I want enough for now. She's going to give someone else a chance. Usually I would get one of those great big pretzels that you can buy at the fairs or like at Six Flags. They're like $6 or $7 for one pretzel, but they're gigantic. I love those things when they're still warm. I remember getting them when we lived in New York as a kid. There'd be vendors on the street sometimes selling them, and we'd always have to get us a big old pretzel. They were so good. Hotter than Hades, where Catherine is. It was a little warm here too today, but it's been warmer. Yeah, I'm glad Ann is getting a little better. Funnel cake was $10. Yeah. Well, this was years ago that I bought the pretzel. The pretzels probably cost about 10 now or more. At fairs, I always got fries. Oh, I had to get me a big old pretzel because that's the only time I get one of those is when I go to a fair or I go to Six Flags, and I haven't been to Six Flags or a fair in many years, so I haven't had a big old pretzel in a long time. I've never had a lemon shake either. You're going to make a berry crisp? That sounds good. I know New York pretzels are so good. They know what they're doing when they make them in New York City. I couldn't go anywhere they were selling those that Mama wouldn't get us one. We had to have a big old pretzel. And I remember going up to the windows of some of the restaurants, on the street. You just walk up to the window and you could order a big old slice of pizza. Or some vendors would be selling hot dogs and sauerkraut. Oh, it was so good. Frying corn on the grill. Yeah, that's corn on the cob fixed on the grill is real good. Well, I guess the funnel cakes have powdered sugar. I don't know, but I know the pretzels don't. I love pretzels with nacho cheese. when I was visiting family in New York City. Always. Funnel cakes are like elephant ears. Really, I don't think I've ever seen them at Dollar Tree here. Of course, I've never looked, but I'll have to look the next time I go in there. You love the soda fountain at Woolworths? Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, and see, I don't think I ever look, hardly ever look in the refrigerator part, but I'll have to look next time I go in there. We got 53 in here. How many thumbs up have I got, y'all? I can't tell. Well, it seems like the Dollar Tree is one of my favorite dollar stores to go to. And when we got Dollar General here, or General Dollar, or whatever they call it, and I go in there off and on too. We got 3 or 4 of them in town, and one real close to me. I mean, I pass it every time I go into town. Let's play what, Gladys? And there's Raymasters 22. I don't go anywhere much. Has anyone fasted tasted bread-free pizza? I tried it today and it was very good. I've never heard of bread-free pizza. What do you put it on? I mean, what do you put your fixings on if you it don't have a like a dough bread or something? If your Dollar Tree ever closes, you're going to have a candlelight vigil. I know anytime I go to a store that's got a garden center in it, I get in trouble because I always hit the garden center, especially their sale racks in there. And there's Darlene, hello, and Tina. Race Masters, welcome to chat tonight. You have all soft pretzels in Philly, sell on the street corner. Yeah, I used to love to get them from the vendors on the street corners. The hot dogs with sauerkraut, slices of pizza. It seemed like it was better. I know Woolworth sold a lot of different stuff. I like the wine Dollar General. Oh, really? They're in trouble financially? Race Masters, I didn't think Dollar General sold wine. Do they? I don't know. I didn't think they sold any alcoholic beverage of any kind. Hot dogs and boiling water. Is that what you meant? I don't like hot dogs and boiling water, but those hot dogs they sold, those vendors sold. I guess they had them in boiling water to cook them, but I don't know what kind of hot dogs they were. But to put them things on a bun with mustard and sauerkraut, they were so good. Oh my God. I've never had another one that tastes like those did after we moved out of New York. The only hot dogs I've ever had were from the microwave and sauerkraut. Yeah, I used to love sauerkraut up there. I don't know where they got their sauerkraut from, those vendors, but it was really good. I mean, I can buy it or make it here, but it don't taste like what they had. We lived in Manhattan. We lived in another part of New York when I was smaller, but then we moved into an apartment in Manhattan when I was, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, somewhere along in there. And I remember we had the East River on one side of us, and a couple of blocks in the other direction, we had a YMCA that we used to go to on Saturdays. And mom and dad would give us enough change that we could pay to go in and swim for hours before we'd come home. Or either we'd go, because back then you could go to a movie as a kid for 25 cents. They'd give us $1 or $1.50, and we'd go to the little theater to watch movies, and $1.50 would get us in the movies and buy us popcorn and candy and drinks, anything we wanted. You can't pay that much today and get that much with it. Well, goodness and happiness to you too, Caleb. I wish you could stay longer. Have a nice night. I know, I don't know what they do different to their food, but it always tastes better from a vendor. I think I've got a can of sauerkraut in my cabinet now that I had bought with intentions of eating hot dogs and sauerkraut, and I have not opened it. And sauerkraut is so good for you. Mom and dad used to make it themselves with cabbage they got from the garden. Can we play the game you mentioned? Well, I wasn't going to play a game. I was just going to ask a question. And if you knew the answer, you won the prize. Wasn't really a game, but you had to watch some of my videos to be able to answer it. We got 52 watching. I guess I can ask it. Grandson just asked for Polish sausage and sauerkraut. How old is your grandson? Cook it in bacon grease. Is that what the secret is? Cook your hot dog in bacon grease and it makes it better. And there's April. Hello. We were getting ready to ask the question for the prize. Yes, ma'am, Darlene. It's a hair clip. It is definitely a hair clip. Silver hair clip. Okay, I put out a video. Tips and tricks on defrosting a freezer. What tip did I give you in that video about defrosting your freezer? Gladys got it, hot water. Gladys just did. She said hot water. It was actually a boiling pot of water that I put in the freezer and then just close the door. It only took 3 pots of boiling water like that to melt the ice to where I could wipe it all out and put my food back in it. But Gladys won it. She said hot water, and that was close enough. So she watched the video. So we know Gladys won the clip. And I've already got her address, so I'll get it mailed out to her. I don't know what it's considered. I mean, is that a Celtic knot? I don't know. It might be. Gladys says send it to Connie. I can do that. I can send it to Connie. April says, Linda, I sent you something. Oh, well, April, I can't wait to see what you sent. Looks like a Celtic knot. It probably is. So I'm going to write it down to send it to Connie. Yeah, I'm going to be doing this quite often. Just pop up with a live and ask a question just to give away something. Shelly Edwards says nothing stays in my hair. Well, the things that stay in my hair the best are these scrunchy things. I've got a bunch of hair, really nice hair clips. I don't hardly ever wear them though. If I got dressed up real fancy, I'd put one of those fancy clips in my hair. But other than that, I just put a scrunchie. They stay in good. Grandma Teresa said, I just got mine cut. I've been thinking about cutting mine. I got to thinking about it this morning. I said I ought to do like I did when I was 8 months pregnant with my son. My hair was long like it is now, and I got tired of it, and I didn't want to have to deal with my hair after the baby was born. So I went to the beauty shop because I went to the beauty shop every Friday to get my hair done. I went in there this Friday and I told her name was Alice, was the hairdresser. I said, I want you to cut my hair off about 1 inch long all over my head. I said, I want it short enough that when I shampoo it, all I have to do is towel dry it because it'll be so short you can't do nothing with it. She looked at me and she said, what are you can't be serious. I said, I am dead serious. I want the hair cut off. And she did it. Oh my God, I had a pile of hair in the floor when she got done. And it was so funny because when I walked out of the door of the beauty shop that day, the wind was blowing and the wind blew across the top of my head. And it felt like I didn't have any hair up there. It felt so weird. I want going, but your love stopped me. Well, thank you, Kaylin. I'm glad you stayed. Linda, I sent you an email too. Okay, April, I'll check my email. Gladys says, Connie, are you happy? I gotta show this adorable picture again. That's Ashley Chapman's little girl. She's the one we sent that little silver bracelet to because it was for a little girl. She just turned 7. And believe it or not, that bracelet is actually loose on her arm. She's got it on her arm. That's why she's holding her arm up. You can't really tell it in the picture, but she's got it on. She just turned 7. April said she just cut all her hair off too. Oh no. How short, April? How short did you two ladies cut your hair? Gladys says I have no hair. I'm sure you got hair, Gladys. Yeah, and she is adorable. And I'm so happy it fit that, it was big enough that she could wear it. Shelley says I got a wig. To my shoulders and now it's curly. See, mine is frizzy curly. And if I would cut it, it would curl more. Susan said I made her cheesy hash browns and shared with a neighbor. Did you like them, Susan? I thought they were pretty good. Mine would have been better if I'd used the Ritz crackers for the topping instead of the saltine crackers, but it was still good. Almost a short shag cut. Yeah, usually that's the way I cut mine. If I cut it short, it's kind of in a layered shag look, and that way it curls even more. You can't picture me with short hair. Well, if you'd ever go on my Facebook wall, you'd see pictures of me with short hair, short and long hair, in fact. Mine is a pixie, so probably win for the shortest. Yeah, Susan's got short hair. I cut off 5 inches last night just because I was getting under me, sleeping and pulling. Yeah. Mine, I don't wear it up when I go to bed. So when I roll over in the bed, I gotta like pick my hair up and move it over to the side so I can lay back down. I get caught up in my hair. Thank you, Kaylin. I keep in a photo. Someone has a crush. Well, what has everybody else been up to today? I worked out in the garden most of the morning. I did a video and then I planted some more sweet potato slips and potted up a plant, a flower that I had bought that's been sitting in the little bitty pot in top of a big pot forever because I couldn't get around to planting it in its own pot. And I finally got that done today. I didn't video that part of it, but I did get another tote fixed with sweet potato slips and got that one plant potted up. So I got all my plants potted up except for peppers. I've got more peppers coming up in places and I've got to transplant them pretty soon. Grandma Teresa fixed a pot of chili, checked on an elderly neighbor. Well, that sounds like a nice thing to do. And Shelley said, I'm trying to find pots to separate my moonflowers. once Susan's hair starts getting in her eyes or neck, on my neck, making me hot at night, it's time for a haircut. Shelly gave me a pink rose in a video. And Susan ran errands. Seemed like Susan's always running errands. Paula Bordeaux. Hello. Welcome. Well, I finally started digging into my compost, but I've been digging under the bottom of it, not the top. I'm going underneath. And I really need to get out there and get some more of it moved and get in some of my totes that my tomato plants and my other plants are in already. Because some of them really do need some compost put to them. But, like I said, there's not enough time for me to do everything. Little Buddy's fine. He was out there a few minutes ago. I fed him and Lucky both. I gave them their last meal for tonight. I put some dry food out in their bowls for them. Darlene was in the pool all day. It was my son's birthday. He and his wife came over and had pizza and cheesesteaks. 93 here today. That's pretty warm. Not as much because Gladys scolds me. Shelly says she gives Gladys flowers in her videos. She loves them. We got quite a bit of rain yesterday. I didn't get anything done because it rained all day. Every time it would quit raining, I'd get my boots on and I'd go out in the yard, head to the shed to get stuff out of it to do some work and try to get it videoed. It started raining on me, so I had to come back in the house. I never did get anything done. I mean, I kept thinking every time it stopped raining, well, the rain's over. I can get out and do something. Get out there and it would rain again. It was like nature was telling me, no, you're not. You're going to go back in the house and rest. You got a little in Ohio today. Well, that was good. There's a lot of places that need rain that they didn't get any. You stay safe and happy too, Caleb. I need to go so I have a little power to talk to Andrea. Can you not plug your tablet in and use it while it's charging? I mean, most tablets you can, or most phones you can. Yeah, sometimes when your hair gets too long, it's pretty bothersome. You sit down, you sit on it, and then when you go to move your head, it's got you in a bind. You can't move. I went through that one time. Yeah, it wasn't yesterday. It was day before we got all the rain. Yeah, every once in a while I'll cut 2 or 3 inches off of mine because I don't want it to get any longer than what it is. You have a good night, Barbara. Glad you could come by. Yeah, that's me. I'm usually working outside in the yard doing something. I'm either mowing or I'm working in the garden. Oh no. When you go potty, your hair goes in the toilet. Mine hasn't been that long. Mine's never went in the toilet. Oh wow, that's long, April, to your knees. I've had mine down to my waistline before, but not longer than that. It started getting to about waist deep, waist length, and I get tired of it. I have to cut it. Oh, I couldn't imagine going to the toilet and your hair going in the commode. Oh no. No, no, no. I had no takers on going on the screen with me tonight. Nobody wanted to get up here. That's okay though. I just went through StreamYard just in case somebody wanted to. They could. Yeah, I keep mine up in a bun most of the time. It's cooler that way, especially in the summer. It's not down on my neck. It's not getting in my face. My mom used to wear her hair in a bun a lot until she got it cut off real short. And I always wish she hadn't cut it because I always thought her hair was so pretty long. Because when she would put it down and it would be kind of curly and long, it looked real good. Oh, Shelley, you're not ugly. No, but I was down and out yesterday. Oh my God, I had fixed this trail mix stuff homemade, and had all different kind of nuts in it. And I love nuts, but I know I'm allergic to them. And usually when I eat nuts, I don't eat very many of them, and I don't eat them for a long time. Well, this trail mix was so good, I just kept eating it and eating it and eating it. All of a sudden, my chest got irritated, my throat was irritated. I started feeling bad. My eyes swelled up even worse, and it made me sick. So I knew I had to stop it. I was eating way too many nuts. I couldn't eat them anymore. And then I had to start doubling up and taking Benadryl. So I took two Benadryl, and then I waited a few hours and then took two more. Took two more when I went to bed last night. And I felt pretty good this morning. But I know I can't eat nuts like that. I can't eat that many. But they were so good, y'all. You know how it is when you start eating something you really like and it's so good. You like popcorn, you can't stop till it's all gone. That's kind of the way I was with those nuts. And I had dried fruit in it too, like dried bananas and dried strawberries and stuff like that. But it was mostly nuts, cashews, all different kind of nuts in there. But I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not even making a trail mix anymore. No, because I know I can't do that. I'll be going to the emergency room for a shot because I can't breathe. Exactly, Connie. God don't make ugly. Yeah, there's a lot of foods I'm allergic to, but if I eat just a little bit of them, it doesn't bother me. But if I do like I did that trail mix and just keep eating it, and every time I turn around, I grab the bag and I eat more, I'm going to have a reaction to it. Yep, say no to the nuts. Some things when you got allergies, you just got to say no to. I had EpiPens at one time, and when I switched allergy doctors and started to go into Dr. Tierce in Fort Worth, they told me there that I probably would never have to use an EpiPen, because usually I have to come in contact with something steadily for like 2 or 3 days to have a allergic reaction to it. The only time I really had a bad reaction to for allergies is when I went to the emergency room thinking my side, I was about to have appendicitis or something. I was hurting so bad. Got in the emergency room and found out I had kidney stones. Well, they took an x-ray. They couldn't get a clean x-ray. So they injected me with that x-ray dye. Little did I know, I'm extremely allergic to x-ray dye. I stopped breathing, y'all. It felt like an elephant sat on my chest. I couldn't breathe in or out. All I could do was like this. I was getting the nurse's attention because I was laying on this x-ray table. And she came over there and she said, "What is it? What is it?" Can't breathe. That's all I could get out. Can't breathe. She ran out the doorway and she grabbed the doctor and she told him what was going on. And he said, "Well, give her so many cc's of Benadryl stat." And she ran, got the Benadryl, come running back in there and injected it in the IV that was in my veins already. And the minute that stuff hit my bloodstream, all of a sudden I went like that. I could finally breathe. That was scary, y'all. But yeah, they said unless I was injected with something, um, that they don't think I'd ever have an allergic reaction that bad where I literally couldn't breathe. They said you'd have to come in contact with something, like I said, for 2 or 3 days, or like eating those nuts. I was constantly eating them for a couple of days because I fixed this big bag of them. Every time I walked by the bag, I was getting a handful of nuts out of it, eating it. So it started, you know, giving me an allergic reaction. So I said, I know I can't do that. I said, I'm not even going to make any more of that mixture because I can't leave it alone. It's so good and I like it. I'm going to eat it and I'm going to have an allergic reaction to it. So, and see, I knew because I knew the signs of it. My chest getting irritated, my throat and everything. So I knew it was the allergy to the nuts. So I always keep Benadryl here. I never am here at this house that I don't have Benadryl because I know I need Benadryl for a lot of things. April says, Linda, what I sent you, you probably won't be able to drink. Well, I don't know what it is you sent. Give those nuts to the squirrels. That's me, Connie. I can't leave like cashews and uh, walnuts, pecans, any of that stuff. I love them, but I can't. If I eat just a little bit, it don't bother me. But I wasn't eating a little bit. I made a big old bag of this mixed trail mix, and man, I was chowing down on it for a couple of days. Can't do that. Yeah, they said that they don't think I'd have that severe of an allergic reaction to anything unless I was in contact with it for 2 or 3 days or it was injected into my body. Because they said you wouldn't have had that allergic reaction to the x-ray dye if it hadn't been injected in your bloodstream. Thank God I was in the hospital, when that happened, because I couldn't breathe in or out, y'all. It was like an elephant stepped on my chest. I mean, it was like my chest was just flattened. Well, I'm allergic to lots of foods. I know it. And sometimes I eat them that I know I'm allergic to. I just don't eat a lot of it. Like mushrooms, if I eat them one time and not a lot, a little bit of them, I don't have an allergic reaction to it. And I know that. So I have to limit myself. That's why I don't buy mushrooms. And Anne said she's allergic to Benadryl. Well, Benadryl has been a lifesaver to me. In fact, I just bought a new bottle of Benadryl at the store the other day because I was running out. I sent you vanilla macadamia nut coffee. Oh my God. And I bet that is so good. Well, I might be able to drink it. I just maybe drink 1 cup, not sit down and drink a whole pot full of it. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, April. Well, I can tell you, usually I get this shirt I've got on right now is an extra large, but a lot of the shirts I can wear larges. It just depends on how they're made. And this is a little loose, but in the heat, I don't mind it being loose. Ann said macadamia nuts have nearly killed me. I don't know what the macadamia nuts are. I don't know if that was in the trail mix or not. But I know I had bought a can of mixed nuts. I know y'all seen them everywhere. And then I had walnuts. I had pecans that I put in there. And then I put dried fruit in there. It was so good, but I can't eat all that. I mean, if I'd ate a little handful and left it alone after that, I'd have been fine. I just ate too much for too long. Like I would eat it off and on during today, and then tomorrow I'd eat off and on tomorrow. And when it builds up in my system is when I start getting an allergic reaction. Is it the little white round kind of nuts? Is that what a macadamia nut is? Fixing to eat some cantaloupe. That sounds good. And I know that's why my mom, she limited what she cooked for us because she had really bad allergies. She knew I had bad allergies. I don't think my brothers had allergies, but me and my mom did. So there was a lot of food she would not buy or cook because she knew she was allergic to it. And therefore, she knew if she was allergic to it, I was, because I basically had the same allergies she did. But when I'd get out walking years ago, sometimes I would alter my route and go down a different street that I had not been down before. And I noticed there was 1 or 2 streets that I'd go down that I had never been down before. All of a sudden, I was having a hard time breathing. I had like labored breathing. And I knew the signs. I said, well, there's something in the, because I'd get like halfway down the street and I was having a hard time breathing. And I said, well, there's something in this area right here that I'm breathing that I'm highly allergic to. So I'd speed up my steps to hurry up and get out of the street, get to the end. And by the time I got to the end of the street, I was breathing fine. So I never went down that street again. Yeah, but they warned me. They said you really don't want to use the EpiPen. He said those EpiPens are really bad. And I know they're lifesavers to some people, but he said if you use an EpiPen, he said it could make your heart race so bad it'll end up giving you a heart attack. So I took him at his word. I didn't get any after that because, of course, they didn't give me a prescription to get any more either. But he said, with your allergies, more than likely you're not going to come in contact with anything unless you're around it for several days or injected with it like you were in the hospital to where you can't breathe. He said you'll be able to have signs of your allergy so you can change whatever it is you're doing or move away from what you're allergic to or whatever instead of having to use the EpiPen. So far I've never had to use one, and I had two of them at one time. They gave me a prescription for two EpiPens that were in like a case. And from what I understand, they're pretty darn expensive. Thank goodness my insurance paid for them. Oh, they're so good, Connie. I've got some watermelon in my freezer right now that I was thinking about making a watermelon slushy today, and I didn't do it. Maybe tomorrow I will, because, oh, they're so good. Put you a banana or some more other kind of fruit in that watermelon too. Those are so good. Cool you off too. Yeah, I'm allergic to all perfumes. Oh my God. I know I had a woman walk by me one time, and I don't know what kind of cologne or perfume it was she had on, but it smelled like laundry detergent of some kind. It's so strong. The minute she got close to me where I could smell it, I was sneezing, I was coughing, I was gagging, and I couldn't stop until she got clean away from me. Because even though she walked by, it was lingering in the air. But finally, she got far enough away from me that I didn't smell it anymore, and I was okay. Oh, yeah, you've always got to save your seeds. Save your seeds this year so you don't have to buy all those seeds next year. That way you can spend money on different seeds that you don't have next year, or maybe some kind of new plant that you want to try. Sometimes squeeze lime in it. Yeah, lime or lemon, either one is real good in it. Oh, I've never been able to burn scented candles, incense, or anything like that in my house. It makes me deathly sick. If I burn a candle, usually it's an unscented candle. That's the only thing I can burn in my house that doesn't make me sick. And if I ever burn a scented one, I don't burn it very long. The minute I start smelling it a little bit in the air, I blow the candle out and then I'm okay. Yeah. There's only been like one or two perfumes I've ever been able to use that didn't give me a headache or make me nauseated. And I don't even use those anymore. And one of the perfumes, that Big Red, I think it was called, and I love to smell it, but I don't even wear that anymore. It's been years since I've even worn any. Yeah, I don't can't do any of them anymore. I can't do the scented shampoos, conditioners. Like I told you all, I think in one or two of my videos that or my lives that the only shampoo I can use is that Prel. Any of the other shampoos and conditioners that's on the market, they all have perfumes or colognes or something in it that I'm highly allergic to. I shampoo my hair in it and it's like it gives me the mad itch. Yes, ma'am, but you can't buy it on the shelf. I found out that Walmart sells it, but they don't keep it stocked on the shelf. You have to order it through their website. They got so many different types of Prel on online that you can order. And I found one that just works great with my hair. It doesn't irritate my scalp or anything. And I buy the bottle of conditioner and shampoo, and I think I pay like $25 when I order it for both of them. Yeah, that's an oldie but goodie. I grew up using Prel, but it was the basic green Prel from years ago, and I could still use that. But for a long time, you couldn't find a conditioner to go with it. And then I got to looking online one day, and I said, "By God, um, Walmart sells Prel conditioner and shampoo, and they've got all different kinds for different types of hair, whether you have oily hair, dry hair." So I ordered some, and it works great. I have no allergic reaction to it whatsoever. And I told my granddaughter about it, so I think she was using it too now because she's got allergies like mine. Her mother has allergies as well. Keep my throat wet so I can talk. Yeah, I can't handle incense. It makes me so sick. I get nauseated, my head hurts. I don't know. Some of these natural products that I've tried, I've been allergic to. Because just because they're natural doesn't mean some people aren't allergic to it. There might be some ingredients in it that you are allergic to. Yeah, but see, I'm allergic to some herbs and plants. Like people told me to get all these flavored teas. Get this one tea to help you sleep. Get this one tea to relax you. Get this one tea for this. I tried some of those teas. I was allergic to the stuff in the tea. April says I'm allergic to work. Oh, Kenny, it's just odd that you would even mention that. Those things you plug into the wall, those scents. When I was substitute teaching, some of the teachers would have those plug-ins for, that would release the scent in the room to make the room smell good. I'd have to unplug them and leave the door open to let the air go out of the room because that scent in that plug-in made me sicker than a dog. And I told the kids, I said, I've got to unplug this thing. I can't breathe this. It's going to make me sick. And I said, y'all just remind me to plug it back in before I leave. Hi there, Neckbone. How's Neckbone doing this evening? April says, Connie, yeah, but it makes me sick and tired. Yeah, even those herbs that they put in some of those flavored teas, like chamomile or whatever they call it, and other stuff, I'm allergic to that. I can't use it. And that's natural products. I can't use them. Now, I need all the watermelon I can handle. Watermelon's never bothered me. Oh, really? I didn't know rosemary would do that. Well, I'm glad you could catch us, Neckbone. And see, I realized today that's one reason my mother never used a ton of different spices. I mean, she used garlic, um, the onion powder. You know, there was several different spices that she used, but she didn't use a lot of them or all of them that you can use. And I realized today it's because we were allergic to it. So she didn't buy them to use them. Lavender. I tell you what, those moonflowers I've got planted, they are strong. When those things are blooming, they have the best smell in the world, but I don't stay around them to where I'm breathing it a whole lot because I'm afraid I might be allergic to the flower if I do breathe it constantly. So they're way out in the yard under the tree, and I don't want them any closer because I don't want to be breathing them constantly. I said I may have an allergic reaction to them if I do. Hmm. You only have a few minutes of free time left, Kai. I've got rosemary out in the yard in a pot, but I haven't used it. I haven't broke any off to use in a cooking recipe or anything. I don't think I've cooked anything here lately that even called for rosemary. When your boyfriend is gone, you'll be able to catch up on all your work. I hear that, April. Well, you don't want to waste your time doing all your work when your boyfriend's there. Kai's backstage. Why is he backstage? He's been, I wondered where he disappeared to. It's in the pine family. Oh, I see. I haven't paid attention to my. I'm sorry, Kai. Well, what happened to him? He didn't come up. Try it again, Kai. I didn't realize you were backstage. I have not even been paying attention to the bar up here. I didn't even notice there was anybody trying to get on stage with me. I was not even paying attention to it. Try it again.
Hey, did it work now?
Yep, it worked. I'm
Hey, right.
sorry. I wasn't paying attention to it. I didn't realize you were waiting.
No, 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 you're good. I was just trying to say hello before I
Connie
hang up.
had to put a message up there.
Thank you, thank you. But man, having a YouTube channel is hard, Lynn. I don't know how you do it because I'm already out of ideas of what to post.
Oh, you come up with something.
Yeah. But there's
With
today.
you just every with you just everyday life with your two little boys would be something to post.
Yeah, I just don't want to put my kids on the internet. They only
Yeah, I just started to say, but then a lot of people don't want to put their kids on camera
yeah,
because they're worldwide when you do that on YouTube.
yeah. And there's a lot of sickos out here. So,
Yep, that's true.
but
And I mean that's the reason my son doesn't want to be on camera. I mean,
mm,
he's a grown man, but he doesn't want to be on camera, so I
yeah,
have
yeah,
to respect his wishes.
yep, yeah. It's a crazy world we live in now.
Yep, it is totally crazy.
Yeah, I'm just leaving Target, so now I gotta go in Walgreens and pick up my son's medicine.
Yeah, I glanced at Connie's post and she said, Kai's backstage. And then I looked up and then I saw your post. It says, where you've been back there for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I figured you thought maybe I was putting on a little performance somewhere, and I'm
I have
backstage.
not even been looking over at that bar to see if anybody was backstage waiting to get in because nobody had been getting in there tonight. So
Yeah,
I wasn't even looking anymore.
no worries, no worries.
Sorry.
It's all good. I was driving home from work anyway, so it was cool. Mm. Are you
April, you're
still?
not going to break the camera. Come on up here with us. April says she'd break the camera if she was up here.
Nah, I don't think anyone
She
would.
needs to get up here.
Did you get a chance to see the little drive? Oh yeah, you did. You said you saw the driving video.
Yeah, it was
It's
pretty
pretty
cool.
noisy, but I drive around in my work van all the time, so there's just things rattling around in here like crazy. I was thinking about putting it on the radio, but then I would just get copyrighted. So I don't know.
Well, whenever you do videos, a lot of the music, they won't monetize your video. That means you're
Yeah,
not going to get paid. There's
yeah.
music through YouTube that you can get
Mm-hmm.
where you can either share profits or there's artists that don't care if you use their music that you can get through YouTube.
Yep, yep.
But so far, everything I've ever found is something I didn't want to use, or if I did want to use it, it still told me that they wouldn't monetize my video. I said, well, why do you have it up there to choose it then?
Yeah, exactly. That's weird.
Kind of crazy.
But I am actually about to pull into Walgreens. I just wanted to jump on and say hey, say hi to everybody, and yeah, hope you guys have a great day and a good
Well,
night,
I'm sorry I left you
guys.
backstage for 30 minutes.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay, you guys have a great night. I'll be in chat.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
I'm looking for April's email. Yeah, that's why I quit looking over there because no one was coming up. And poor Kyle was back there waiting for 30 minutes and I didn't even know he was backstage because I stopped looking. April, you're a blondie. If this is a picture of you, you're a blondie. There's nothing wrong with the way you look. I'm showing it. So you just as well get up here. There's April, y'all. There's nothing wrong with the way she looks. I'm a Hayoli like Kai. I know she's a pretty lady. I don't know why she doesn't want to get up here. I wish I looked that good. I wish I was that thin, skinny. See, there's no reason now why you can't get up on the picture on screen with me because we already saw you. We all know what you look like. And there's paws in the garden. I didn't even notice they came in. Yeah, Kai's the only one that even got up there with me tonight. And then I left him backstage for 30 minutes, didn't know he was back there. I can't believe I did that because I've been watching the chat here, not watching over here where the bar is to tell me that there's someone in behind, backstage. And then when I read the message about him being backstage for 30 minutes, I said, well, what is he doing backstage for 30 minutes? And then I realized, you idiot, because you haven't put him on the screen. When I'm at home, my internet won't do it. I tried. Oh, okay, April. I know some of the ladies have that problem. They try to get on screen and the internet is not powerful enough or they don't get enough bars or something that they can't get up there. I live in the boonies. She sent me her picture, Kai. Let me bring it back up. But she said she can't get up on stage because her internet is not strong enough. There's April. I wish I looked that good. I wish I was that skinny. And there's Jana. I can't believe that I did that. I didn't even look over there. The minute I looked, I saw that he was backstage. I wasn't paying attention because I was not expecting anybody to get up here with me. You're gaining weight. I wish I could lose some. I'd give you some weight. I'd give you all the weight you wanted. The weather here is fine. Sun's been out, no rain today. We're not getting any more rain for another week or more. And it's going to be back in the high 90s again. Hot, hot, hot here. Yeah, it's hot everywhere again. But that rain did cool it off a little bit. It was cool for 2 days. Now it's getting hot again. Your boyfriend takes you out to eat all the time? Well, I don't go out to eat all the time, but doing cooking videos, I think you eat more than you normally would because you got the food, you know. It's 81 degrees here still, April, and it's 10:45, 10:43 at night. And it's still 81 degrees. It's doing pretty good. My tomatoes are putting out more blooms that are under the canopy. Just getting that hot sun off of them a little bit sure made a difference. I know. I work so hard on a lot of stuff. And sometimes I wonder if it's worth it. It seems like I never reap a lot of the rewards that I should for the work that I do, but I enjoy doing it. Tenny said good night, everyone. It's 11:43 where they're at. I'm off to bed. I didn't sleep well last night, and my day starts at 5 a.m., so I'm feeling it. Have a great evening, everybody. Have a great evening to you too, Tenny, and have a blessed day tomorrow. I hope you get a good night's sleep tonight. Yeah, aloha, Tenny. Sweet dreams. Y'all don't forget 7-Eleven to go get your free Slurpee from 7-Eleven. I didn't know they were giving free Slurpees. Yes, I do. I've got bird feeders. I feed the wild birds, and I've got hummingbird feeders out there. I love watching the birds. I enjoy them coming in the yard. Every year on July 7-Eleven, stores give free Slurpees. Huh, I didn't know that. So you go on the 11th. I don't know if we've got a 7-Eleven here in Granbury. Have no idea. I don't I don't think I've ever been to one if we do. My grandmother used to have a jar of peppers and vinegar. I saw a previous video, not sure how long ago it was, but it reminded me. Yeah, I always make a jar of pickled vinegar, hot vinegar peppers. And all you do is put your peppers down in your jar and put your vinegar. Back home, we used to eat it on collard greens and stuff, just sprinkle a little bit of that hot vinegar on your greens and different things when you were eating them. Slurpee Day 2024 for 7-Eleven. It says for almost 2 decades, 7-Eleven has been giving customers a free small Slurpee drink on 7-Eleven to thank them for their loyal patronage and continued support. How to get a free How can I get a free Slurpee on Slurpee Day at 7-Eleven? Customers need only to bring their small Slurpee cup to the counter for the free deal. You don't need to make any additional purchases to get a free Slurpee or on Slurpee Day. There is a limit at one free small cup per customer per visit. Huh. Let's see if we got one in Granbury. I don't know that we do. We do. It's out on 377. See exactly where it's located. I want to know because I may want to go get me a free Slurpee. I'll probably forget. I'm bringing up the map that it's got so it shows me what it's close to. Connie Jones just did it. Granbury, Texas, when the husband looked up the address of your 7-Eleven to help you get your baby Slurpee. Yeah, I know what the address is, but I was looking on the map to see what it's close to. I mean, it's the one I thought it was. It's directly across from Walmart, basically. The one I hardly ever go to. Because usually if I get gas at Walmart's pump or Brookshire's. I don't usually go to the 7-Eleven. But it's right across the street from Walmart. Or right across 377 from Walmart. So now I know exactly where to go to get my free Slurpee on 7-Eleven. Thank you for letting us know that, y'all. Everybody can go get a free Slurpee. Janice says defrosting your freezer made me laugh because I was enlisted in that task once with my grandmother. I had a hair dryer and was told to aim it into the freezer. Well, it's funny you should say that because when I first started defrosting my freezer, I was using a hair dryer. And I said, man, there's got to be an easier way than this. Just to hold the hair dryer up there for the length of time it took to get it hot enough in that freezer to melt that ice wore me out. I said, I'm not doing this. So I got to thinking, I said, what else can I do to put heat in the freezer without having to hold a hair dryer up there? I said, a pot of boiling water. So I got me a pot, the biggest pot that I could get that would go in that freezer. And I filled it full of water. I put it on the stove. I got it to boiling. I mean, it's rolling boil. And then I put it in that freezer. I shut the door. It worked like a charm. Well, needless to say, after that, I didn't even think about using the hair dryer anymore. Yeah, avoid brain freeze. Drink it slow. But yeah, I mean, that pot of boiling water works so much better than the hair dryer because I've tried it. I'll never use a hair dryer again trying to melt ice in a freezer. But you'd be surprised how many people still use freezers that are not frost free. Even my new one, the new upright freezer that the anonymous sender or subscriber sent me, ordered for me and had it delivered. It's not frost free, but I don't care. The seals around it are real good. So if I have to defrost it, it's probably going to be about once a year. This one, I do it, I don't know, maybe once a month or so in the summer because the gaskets are not that good around the door. But you know what? I had several people send me messages saying or comments on that video that actually the frost, the refrigerators or freezers that you have to defrost are better than the ones that are frost free. For one reason, the frost free like gets the air out of the freezer and it causes your food to freezer burn sooner or quicker. Whereas the ones that don't have frost free, it takes a long, long time for your food to freezer burn in there. And I didn't know that until they told me. I said, well, hey, that's nice to know. So now I don't feel so bad about having to defrost my refrigerator or my freezer. April says I use boiling water too. Yeah, that's the best way. I mean, all the deep freezes I've ever owned, you had to defrost them at least once a year. And my mom and dad always had big deep freezes at home, to put all the garden stuff and the meat that was butchered each summer at my grandparents' farm. But they only defrosted it maybe once a year. And that was before garden season, so they cleaned the freezer out, defrosted it or whatever had to be done, got it all ready to restock it with all the summer stuff out of the garden. So, I mean, it's really not a big deal to have to defrost a freezer. And if it's 100 degrees outside, I don't mind a bit defrosting my freezer. At least it keeps me cool. Neckbone said frost free for the win. And then later he said maybe not. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what a lot of subscribers commented. They said it was the ones that you had to defrost were better for your food because they don't freezer burn as quick. I never thought about that, but they may know something I don't. Hopefully they will. I mean, they get along for the most part. They'll pal around, lay around together, they eat together. But once in a while, I don't know what it is, I'll catch them and they're ready to tear one another apart. I'm still using my grandma's boxes of white freezer paper, wrap my meat and vegetables in before I put in the freezer and mark with all marked date of purchase. Well, I still have, they not only bought me the freezer and had it shipped here, but they got me one of those, what do you call it? Can't think of the name of it. The vacuum sealer. They sent me a vacuum sealer with all kind of the plastic to use in it. Some of it you can make it the size you want. Others were pre-made. I've still got, some of that because I haven't used it all. A lot of the stuff that I put in the freezer was in packages already. It was bought that way, so you didn't have to put it in the sealer. Yeah, seal a meal type of thing that you can get like meat in bulk and then divide it up and vacuum seal it in that plastic. Yeah, it came with a certain amount of bags, and then they bought a whole roll of the plastic so you can cut it the length you want it. It'll be the width, but you can cut it the length of the bag you want. You don't have to have it that long when you only need it this much. And I've still got plenty of it up there, but my freezer's full. I can't put anything else in it. It's just like the one up here behind me, it's full. Yeah, you can cut and seal it to size. I mean, and then they even kept sending me food orders of food to stock the freezer with, so it's full. I would not have had it filled, that quick, but they were sending me food orders about every week with stuff to go put in the freezer. So my freezers are full, counting what they sent me and the stuff that I put in there myself. It's full. Because I still got my turkey carcass and all that from Thanksgiving that I need to take out and either make turkey and dumplings or turkey soup or something. I'll end up with my turkey from last year still in there for this coming Thanksgiving. I need to get it out and cook something, make something with the leftovers. And I still got packages of turkey and gravy that I put up. I do too. And turkey carcass, when you have a turkey at Christmas and you cut the meat off the bone, there's always tons of meat still left on those bones. So I cut it in half and I make 2 packages out of it, stick it in the freezer. And that's what I make my turkey soup or my turkey and dumplings with, or turkey and rice. And then since it's just me here, I divide all the sliced turkey up and all the tons of gravy that I make with it, and I put it in individual packages and I freeze that so I can take it out at any time and have a turkey and dressing gravy meal. And I've been making so many videos, I haven't been taking it out to eat it. So I've still got plenty of turkey and gravy in there. And plenty of stuff have been going in my compost pile too. So I'm going to have some good compost. Yeah. And the bones are good for you. There's healthy stuff in those bones. And it makes the best soup or the best turkey and rice or turkey soup. Oh my gosh. Probably as soon as it gets colder weather, I'm going to be pulling a lot of it. I'm going to be pulling it out before then. It's going to have to come out of there. Because I don't usually leave stuff in my freezer more than about a year. I mean, some stuff you can leave in there a lot longer than that. But stuff like my turkey's bones and stuff like that, I like to take them out before the next Thanksgiving So I got room to replace the new turkey carcass in there. Yeah, you don't throw away food. There's so much you can do with leftover food. I mean, if you got leftover mashed potatoes, you can make potato soup. You can make potato patties. You can make tons of different things with leftover mashed potatoes. I mean, there's so much you can do with food, and people throw their food away. I've done that too, Neckbone. In fact, usually when I would make pizza, homemade pizza, I'd make two at a time and I'd freeze one and I'd have one to eat for days. I'd be eating pizza for a week. but and the reason I did that is so I didn't have to make one individual pizza at a time. And another thing, it saves on propane when I turn that oven on. If I can cook two pizzas at one time, it's going to take me less gas to cook those two pizzas. So there's more into cooking two at a time than just the problem of going to the trouble to make it. I told my friend, I said, well, make two at a time. So it cuts down on using my oven and my gas. Plus, I don't have to go in there and make two individual pizzas at two different times. And anytime I want pizza, I got one in the freezer I can take out and cook. Made perfect sense to me. I know, just pop it in the microwave and oh my God, it's just as good as the day you made it. What do you like to cook most? Oh, I don't even know. There's so many different foods I like. Just like if I make a big pot of turkey soup, I'd turn right around and freeze part of the soup. And you can do that. You can take that turkey carcass out, put it in a pot, cook it to death where every bit of the meat is off of the bones, get the bones out, make your soup with it, and then you can freeze that soup if you want to. So then you got turkey soup in your freezer to take out when you want it and eat it when you cook it. I've been eating it cold during the power outages. Well, here where I live, if my power's out, I can still cook because I've got a gas stove. There's nothing electric about my gas stove. I mean, I may have to physically light the burner with a lighter or something, but because it does have the ignition on it, but I can still cook even my electricity's out. That's one reason I like gas stoves, is because if your electricity goes out, you can still cook. Well, mine used to be empty too, April, until now. And I've had so much food coming in for the last, I don't know how many months, that both freezers are full, my refrigerator's full, my cabinets are full. I'm overflowing with food right now for the first time in my life. And I'm not complaining. I mean, I'd rather have too much than not enough. And it was sent because they wanted me to stock up for the later, because there's a lot of people are figuring, well, just like Susan, She said, well, the way things are going, we may not have food in the stores to buy, so she's stocking up. Well, that was the frame of mind my giver was in, with getting me the freezer and sending me all the food to fill it up, is the fact that I've got food for later on if I need it. I've cooked with a gas stove ever since I left home. I mean, when I first got married, I started cooking on gas stoves, and I love cooking on gas. My mom always had an electric stove, and that's okay. But, like I say, if the electricity goes out, you can't cook anything. I mean, you'd have to go build your fire out in the backyard, and I could do that. I mean, here I can have a fire in the fire pit or whatever, and I can cook outside if I had to. I was noticing, oh my goodness, we've been over here for over 2 hours. Time flies when you're having fun, y'all. It really does. Hey, I can't tell you, Connie, how many times I have cooked pizza, eat it one day, put it in the refrigerator, took it out, and ate cold pizza for breakfast with a cup of coffee. And I love cold pizza. To me, cold pizza is just as good as it is if it's hot. I mean, when I was raising my kids on my own, I was wondering where our next meal was coming from. I didn't have to worry about my freezer being full. In fact, my deep freeze I kept for several years, and it was empty. It was plugged in, it kept cold, but I didn't have food to put in it. And then by the time I had the income to where I could put food in a freezer, my freezer went out, so I had to get rid of it. And I think only it needed was Freon. But by then, the repairman said they were not allowed to put Freon in freezers anymore. So I gave it to some Mexicans, and I think they got Freon from Mexico or somewhere. And I think they got it to working good. Because only part of it would stay frozen and the other end wouldn't. And they said it needed Freon. But yeah, I paid the guy $75 to come down here to tell me he couldn't fix my freezer and all it needed was Freon. But he couldn't put it in. I've eaten cold lasagna too, Neckbone. I laughed until I tried it. I've eaten cold chicken. I've eaten cold everything out of the refrigerator. Sometimes a lot of it is just as good cold as it is hot. I do too. I love cold chicken. I've eaten cold spaghetti. I've even made cold spaghetti sandwiches, believe it or not. And they're pretty good. Now someone's going to ask, well, how do you make a cold spaghetti sandwich? How are you going to keep spaghetti noodles on bread? It's easy. When it's cold, it ain't moving nowhere. And eggs. I've never tried baked spaghetti. I've been thinking about trying that, but I'm going to wait till a cool day. Oh my God. Eggs are $10 a dozen in Hawaii, April. That's outrageous. They finally went back down a little bit here. I think the last time I bought eggs, they were like $2.59 for 18 eggs. You can get the dozen, or you can get the 18, or you can get the 24. And I usually buy the 18 carton, and it was like 2.59, something like that. I mean, they were getting crazy high one time, but they came back down. But I can't imagine paying $10 for eggs. Wow. Yeah, you need chickens, April. They'll give you all the eggs you want. A friend of mine told me, they said, you need to get you some chickens. And I said, well, I don't know anything about taking care of chickens. He said, you'd only need about 3 of them, and they'd keep you in all the eggs you could ever eat, just for yourself, or probably keep me in more eggs than I'd want. But in the very heat of the summer, as hot as it gets here, they quit laying in the hottest time, but then they'll start right back out as soon as it cools off a little bit. I love cold mac and cheese. Yeah, I could imagine the feed would be pretty expensive. And usually all that feed comes in like 50-pound bags, and I couldn't be picking those up. I couldn't move them around. Yeah, I thought about turning my little greenhouse into a little chicken coop at one time, but then I said, nah, I said, I don't know if I want to do that. The ants are so bad here. I don't know if the chickens would be able to eat them as fast as they would come after them or not. And then I didn't know anything about chicken feed and all this other stuff. I know my grandparents had chickens on their farm years ago, but they took care of them. I didn't, so I don't know anything about, what to have for chickens. Cornbread and I eat 2 eggs only a day. Well, you get you 3 or 4 chickens, and they'd give you as many eggs as you'd want every day, you and cornbread both. Well, somebody told me, they said, well, the ants aren't going to bother chickens because the chickens would just eat them. I said, I don't know. We've got some pretty outrageously mean ants in this area, those big red ones. And I was afraid they'd kill the chickens. I need to convert my little greenhouse into a sauna, so in the wintertime I can get in it and sweat sweat some of the bacteria out of your body. But I don't know if I'd be able to do that. I've been thinking about trying it, but the only thing I'd have to heat it with would be probably like an electric heater, and I don't know if you could get it hot enough in there with one. Or maybe I don't know. I wouldn't want a fire in it, I don't think. I don't know how. In the summertime it wouldn't matter. You wouldn't have to worry about heat in there. You wouldn't be able to stay in there, it's so hot. But in the wintertime is when I'd need it, because I get out and sweat enough in the yard working in this heat. I don't need a sauna to get in. Well, my grandparents, they raised their own chickens, their turkeys, they had ducks, they had all kind of feather friends on their farm. So they never bought chicken because they butcher their own. They never bought eggs because they had all the eggs they wanted from their chickens. They raised their own turkeys, so they just go grab a turkey and cook it. But that's what they did all their lives. That was their way of living. That was their business, was their farm. Well, from what I understand, chickens eat all kind of insects and as much of them as they can get hold of. So people tell me that chickens ain't going to be bothered by the ants because they would eat them. I said, well, the way that the ants are around here, I'd have some fat chickens off of ants, that's for sure. Well, they could eat centipedes because I know we've got them around here. I've seen a couple before around the yard, around in the rocks and stuff. And some of them were pretty big. They look gross. Ugh. Millions of legs. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I might invite a lot of wild animals that would come wanting my chickens for lunch. So I don't think I want to mess with raising animals like that here, chickens or anything else. They used to allow you 12 chickens and one rooster, and now they'll only allow you to have 12 chickens on your property here in this subdivision. They won't allow the, the roosters anymore. I don't ever see snakes here in my yard anymore. Years ago I did, but we've got so many people that have moved in. There's so much traffic on the streets that I really haven't seen snakes in years. I've got it on my Facebook page and I think I've got it on my phone, but my phone I'm using to film with, so I don't have it on this, I don't think. Let me see. Yeah, I've still got it on my phone. I just don't have access to it right now, Connie. Sheila has little desert turtles where she lives. Yeah, it's good to have chickens. The price of eggs keep going up. You save a lot of money having your own chickens if you can afford to feed and stuff. I mean, I don't know how much 3 or 4 chickens would eat a month. But I remember my grandparents, we'd go out to the corn crib and get a couple of ears of corn out. And I'd help my grandmother. I'd get an ear, she'd get an ear, and we'd break all the corn off of it and drop it on the ground. And that was basically all she gave them every day because she said they'd go out and eat bugs because they were free roaming. That they weren't in pens or anything. But they never left. They always stayed right there. They knew where home was. Yeah, the desert has little turtles. Huh. What did you need to do with your picture of your turtle, Connie? I mean, I'd show it now, but I can't because it's on the phone I'm filming with. Dessert. Desert has little turtles. Desert. I don't see turtles around here anywhere. I mean, except in the lake. I mean, the lake is full of them. All different size turtles. I'll have to put the picture of your turtle on this next time I go live. That way, if you want me to show it, I can, just hold it up to the camera. But I don't have it on this one. Yeah, I've cooked with Spam. I made stir fry with Spam, and it tastes just like ham. It was really good. I did a video with it, I think. I think that, yeah. I did a video with using Spam, making stir fry. It was really good. See, I can still use this one to get on the internet with, but I can't, I don't have phone access on it. Let me see. Maybe I can get to my Facebook page. Maybe. I don't know. I might can find it on there. Voila, I found it, Connie. I was able to go to the Facebook page. I mean, this picture's not going to do it justice, but I don't know if holding it back would help. That's Connie's cross that she made. And holding it up to this camera is not doing it justice. It's really pretty. Yep, that's the cross. You said turtle, isn't it? Oh man, I don't know if I got the turtle on here. Yeah, I don't think I got the turtle on here yet. I don't, Connie. I've got the cross on this on Facebook, but I don't think I posted the turtle yet. That's why it's not on Facebook. I'll have to post it. That way I can bring it up on this or email it to this one. Sorry about that. That's how my mind works. I just saw the cross and showed the cross. I'm going to work. Happy I could pop in on and say hello. Well, hi, Randy. I'm glad you could pop in. Yeah, we've been on forever tonight. We've been on, let's see, 2.5 hours already. And I'm afraid if I mess with the camera trying to get to the picture, I'll probably turn the live off or mess it up. You're finishing the betta fish tonight. I bet that'll be pretty. Yeah, Randy, have a good night at work and a good day tomorrow. Yeah, I know. I just saw the cross and had to show it. But I don't have the turtle one on here. I've got I got to transfer the turtle from the camera to this or before I can show it. So next time I go live, I'll have the turtle on there. I don't know of any other way to do it. I'd have to get off of live here. Hold on a minute. I won't be able to see chat for a little bit. Yeah, and I can't get through it to Facebook, the contacts on Facebook, because she goes through the phone messenger, not messages for Facebook. So I can't get to it that way either. And I know if I mess with that phone, I'm going to just lose everybody. Yeah, and since Messenger goes through your phone, even though I put Connie on this, I don't have access to Messenger through this because I don't have the phone service on this one. Yeah. As soon as I end the live, I'll post the turtle on Facebook. Hopefully that'll put it on my wall so I can show it the next time we do live. Yep, time flies when you're having fun. We've been on here for over 2.5 hours, and I didn't realize it. Well, it's not letting me now. I even tried to send Gladys a message on it, and it keeps giving me the message cannot send messages at this time or something. I don't know what the problem is. So I can't bring up her message on here to be able to see the turtle. I don't know if it has something to do. I mean, it let me on the internet because I went to Facebook, but it won't let me send a message from anybody in the phone list. Currently unable to send your message. I just sent a message to Connie saying hello, but it told me I was unable to send it. And it's got pending beside it. So when I open it, I can't. It doesn't bring up the previous conversations on Messenger that I got from Connie to be able to get to the picture of the turtle. I know it's messages. Messages, the blue with the three dots, that's the one Connie sends me messages through, not Messenger on Facebook. I bring up a list of everybody else on Messenger through Facebook, but Connie doesn't correspond through that. She corresponds through messages, and that's through your phone service. Your in other words, you can go to your phone list and click on it to send them a message, and it goes through messages, but they don't come through both of them. And for some reason, it will not let me use messages right now. I don't know why. But we'll get it done. We'll show it next time. And like I said, I'll post it on Facebook. So if any of you have access to my Facebook page, you'll be able to see the post of her turtle. I used to have a job. Well, it was not actually welding, but it was like welding. It was, we called it soldering because I worked in a electronics plant. Years ago, you had these little round tubes, about that big around, and they were wrapped with copper wire, and they connected at the end on the outside of this little condenser, and they actually went in TVs and televisions, the old timey televisions, and you had to solder the wire to a little connection point on the outside of the tube. And that's what I did. I ran wire on the condensers, and I soldered the ends to connect them. And it's just like welding on a miniature scale. I tease my son because he started the job he's got as a welder, and he's real good at welding. And I teased him and I said, well, I was a welder years ago. I was on a miniature scale, though. It wasn't on a scale that you weld. It was using the smaller, we called it soldering, but it's welding basically. Yeah, welders make great money, but he's above the welder now. He's the boss man. He taught welding for a while, taught all different aspects of the job, and now he's basically boss. Target sells goat milk here. It's been years since I've been to Target. They used to have a Target in Fort Worth. That's how long it's been since I've been there. I don't know if Target's still there. I guess it's still there. But when I go to Fort Worth shopping occasionally, I'd always make my rounds to like Ulan Mall, Ross up there, different stores because we didn't have a Ross here in Granbury back then. So I'd make my rounds of all those shops up there, and I'd go by Target and just walk through the store to see if there's anything that caught my eye. Sometimes I bought something, sometimes I didn't. But since we've got so much in Granbury now, I don't have a need to go to Fort Worth, except for one thing, and that's go to DSW Shoes, because they are about the only ones now that I can find narrow shoes in. And it's getting even hard up there. The last time I went up there, they only had one or two styles of shoes in basically a narrow width. And I asked one of the sales guys that worked there about it. He said, well, nobody wears narrow shoes anymore. Everybody's got wide feet. I said, well, there's still people like me that have a narrow foot, and I can't wear the wide widths. I can't keep them on my feet. Well, you'll have to go to a high-end store. That means, in other words, you'll have to go to an expensive store and spend hundreds of dollars to get a pair of shoes to fit. April's outside. We're watching the sun go across the sky. Okay, Connie. Yeah, when you send that, I'll make sure that I've got those pictures so I can show them on the next live, and I'll post them on Facebook as well. Oh, me. Good gracious. It is 20 minutes to 12, y'all. Have we been on here that long? Good gracious. I guess we should end the live. We've been on here forever tonight. I didn't intend to be on here this long. I just wanted to pull a surprise live, give something away, and figured I'd be on for about an hour and get off. And we've been on here going on 3 hours already. Almost sunset. It's almost morning here, April. 1 minute past midnight and it'll be AM. It's not going to be PM anymore. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all coming into my live tonight since it wasn't planned. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have too. I always love the fellowship times with my subscribers. I have a good time in chat. But I think we've kind of been in this one a little bit too long, as late as it is. April says, when I was a baby, I drank goat milk, but I was allergic to cow milk. Well, my son couldn't drink baby formula and stuff because he was allergic to the fat content in the milk. So I'm sure he would have been allergic to goat's milk too, because I'm sure that would have fat in it. So the doctor told me when I left the hospital, he said, just go by the grocery store, pick you up a gallon of low fat milk and give him that. That's all you can do. So I put his vitamins and stuff in the low fat milk, and that's what he drank. He drank it more often than normal because the low fat doesn't really stay in your stomach and doesn't fill you up as much. So he got his bottle about every 2 hours, where other babies, they had them, more time went by than that. And he was always starving when he got it too. Yeah, love and prayers to everybody in chat, everybody that's watching, the silent viewers. I appreciate all of you taking your time to watch my videos, to come into live chat. I appreciate each and every one of you. Love all of you. And we'll see you on the next one. Y'all have a good night and have a blessed day tomorrow. Good night, y'all. Oh, let's see where my button is. Good night.